I do want to let me frame it to you like this, because I do think that we are kind of overlooking Houston, but I feel like that's because everybody knows what Houston is every single year. Names change, players cycle through, but it's still the exact same team, the exact same program, doing the exact same thing. It's got a little bit of Florida State to it, back when Florida State was really rolling. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I disagree with that a little bit. Only because I think Jarris Walker is just a talent that's head and shoulders above anything that they've had from a freshman perspective.
Fair.
I mean, he is.
I guess my point was more like,
pick.
Yeah, like he's clearly the best that they've had, but he kind of does the same job that all of the guys did before him, right? He's just better at it. That's the like it's pretty incredible he's 18 doing that. Most of the guys that Kelvin has are like 23, 24.
Dude, he is put together.
Yes.
He is massive. No, Houston's really good. What Sampson gets those guys to do on a night-to-night basis, they just control their controllables better than anybody else in college basketball from a night-to-night basis.
Are they the new Villanova in that you know what you're going to get from them, so you're not talking about them as much because that not boring, but you've become so accustomed to talk about them winning that because there's no wave of change really, you're not going to you see what I'm saying in that regard, in that realm, because for the last 5-6 years, we just didn't focus a ton on Villanova because all they were doing was winning, and you knew what to expect from them. Houston feels like that. Like for a program that went to the Final Four 2 years ago, went to the Elite Eight last year. Like are they here's the thing. They might not be the safest bets to win it all, to win it all. But if you ask me, Terrence, like who's the safest bet to make a regional final? I'd say Houston.
I would say they're the new Gonzaga until next year when they're in the Big 12.
Okay.
Like, because compared to their league, like Gonzaga doesn't have it this year, obviously, but compared to their league, like they are head and shoulders better than everybody. Even a good Memphis team is going to make the tournament, or right on the bubble. Excuse me, fielding of 68.
They should. If Memphis doesn't make the tournament, like we got to have a conversation about Penny.
Something to be said there. Going back to Alabama, you referenced their talent, and one of the things when you have that much talent reminds me a little bit, because we had Psycho T on last night on After Dark. It reminds me a little bit of that. Like when you have so much more talent than the other team, the best thing you can do is play more basketball. And what I mean by that is play more possessions. So if you're the better team, the more possessions you play, the better off you're probably going to be, because then your talent's going to be superior than the other team's talent. It's like a team that runs the West Coast and wants to go as fast as possible. You want more possessions as opposed to playing somebody like an Iowa. You're trying to play at 7-10, right? Like it's one, or excuse me, 6-3. There was a couple of games they didn't even score a touchdown. But you get what I'm saying. Like more possessions is better, and that's harder to guard. So I would argue, did you say like they're susceptible because of their style, or they're a safer bet because of their style?
I'm saying actually a little bit of both. I said I think people believe that they're susceptible because of their style. I think it's the opposite. I would argue the opposite with this team, especially in a year like this one in college basketball. In this season, they're the way that they play. You know, frankly, some of these teams, guys, some of these teams' biggest flaws, even the ones that are in that are 4, 5, or 6 seeds, some of their biggest flaws are their inability to score the basketball for 5 or 6 minute stretches. Mm-hmm. You're never going to see Alabama miss 10 shots in a row. You just won't. You're not going to see it.
There's too many ways for them to get one.
Yeah, right? Look at the win over the weekend. Jaden Bradley, Rylan Griffin. They have different ways that they could beat you, guys that really step up. But